Drones over Kremlin. Putin is in panic. That's what we're gonna talk about today. And also, what we all in Russia, for example, should learn from Rwanda, of all places. Hi, I'm Elena, and this is my political channel Enough. Enough of propaganda. Here I'm telling you the truth about lots of things, and in particular, I conducted a deep research about what's happening in Ukraine since like 2013, and that's what we're gonna talk about as well. Let's get to it. Um, you can know more about me in my playlist, which called About Me. Then you will find out why my opinion should matter anything, if anything, and the facts I provide, you're welcome to verify. I used to put it in the description to the videos, but seems like YouTube doesn't like it, so I put it in a pinned comment under the video. If I have sources of information, so you can look for yourself and create your own opinion. Anyways, what's the deal with the drones? As you probably know by now, there are a couple drones which flew over Kremlin, right in the heart of Moscow, as Russians would say. And we're not gonna speculate because nobody knows who done it. Ukraine denied it. So was Zelensky, president of Ukraine, or Mr. Podolyak from the office of the president of Ukraine, the advisor of Podolyak, the advisor of president of Ukraine, and several other people. It doesn't really matter. We will talk about what actually matters. But first of all, let's see how it all happened. That's it. Well, there are other shots from the other side as well. And we know the facts. There were two drones. One came from the side of the Moskvarechye, and another one is the side from Kitai-Gorod, which is a part of Moscow. But the drones came further than Moscow. I highly doubt they came all the way from Ukraine. And the facts are that it happened at night. Something like 2 o'clock in the morning or something, deep at night. And a little bit suspicious that two people are already on the roof, as you can see. So they're standing and waiting. Let's kind of watch it again while I'm talking. And so just now drone is flying, as you can see. And then what? Just poof above the screen, and nothing more. So nothing actually happened. That big of a deal. Nothing destroyed. Nobody, thank goodness, died. And depends of whom. Some people might disagree with me, and I might disagree with myself about certain people in Russia. Well, I can't even call Putin a people. It's a monster who started aggressive war in Ukraine. So even I don't support attacks like that, I'm not gonna cry if something happened to Putin. Let's put it that way. Nevertheless, so they conveniently turn off the lights, and they conveniently make sure that there is good shots from all the sides, and somebody, hard to imagine somebody doesn't sleep in that kind of hour from two different parts of Moscow, Moscow, so they can film from different sides the poof about Kremlin. No damage, couple leaves of the roofing get burned, which will be easily replaced, as a lying bad guy Peskov said. But that's not the point. It's a Putin's weakness. Putin, by this stuff happening, I don't know if some people thinking it maybe Russians did it as a FSB or something. Putin did it under some sort of a pretext for something. First of all, Putin doesn't need any pretenses and pretexts and excuses to attack Ukraine. We just saw recently my video about Uman, when the building get destroyed, people died. And I might show you later another footage of that. Russians were that bad over people. I can't even talk people about propagandists who just took the pictures of Ukrainian city of Uman and pretend it happened in Donbass and Ukraine did it to people in Donbass. That's just insane. It's just lowest level of inhuman, inappropriate, unreal. So this is nothing physically. Like, what happened? Kremlin still standing, nobody died. But the significance of this is Putin cannot not only attack anybody in Ukraine, he only can pretend and continue throwing people into that meat grinder, not achieving anything. Even Prigozhin complained about it. But the problem is, Russia is so weak, thanks to Putin, that anybody can fly over Kremlin and do this. From 2 drones from 2 different directions. What it's saying, that stop believing in garbage, what Putin says. Stop believing that they didn't even start it yet. Stop believing that they have some sort of resources to do something. They can only go in the same way they were. For 8 months, Prigozhin and his Wagner group, which is illegal by Russian law, mercenaries, with the prisoners from Russian jails, and Russian army cannot take one city of Bakhmut. They still can't do it. They have to retreat out of it, and soon. Meanwhile, somebody can do this right inside of Moscow. It means Russia can't even protect not just Moscow. They can't protect Kremlin. They can't protect the heart of Moscow. And forget that conspiracy theories of Russia trying to push that somebody trying to get rid of Putin. That's ridiculous. And now they're talking about revenge. Revenge for what? First of all, nothing happened. Second of all, first of all, Russia attacked Ukraine. Russia killing people in Ukraine. And army, personnel of Ukrainian army, and people right in their very houses, at their homes. So if anybody can have rights to talk about revenge, it's Ukraine. And yet Ukraine doesn't bomb civilians, doesn't get rid of people. Accidents happen sometimes, as people who live in Belgorod know. But Russia started that war. All Russia has to do, withdraw the troops from all over Ukraine and go home. And this wouldn't happen. But the fact that it is happened, showing the weakness of Putin. He can't even protect Kremlin, let alone Moscow. And nothing to talk about Russia itself. So I highly doubt, I guess FSB, that's stupid. When Rust landed in Red Square, Minister of Defense lost his job. So I wish to see resignations of the chief of FSB, of Shoigu, and a whole bunch of other military commanders. They can't protect even Moscow in the war they started. So this is what all we need to know about this. Who done it, why they did it, it doesn't really matter. And for Russia, all that going on, very soon will start May Day parade, which I have a special video about this. It's saying that it's disgusting how they using the victory in World War II, which they achieved with the enormous help of allies, which now I heard information from TV Rain, which is, in Russia you can't really trust the polls, but the polls were, and about 66% of Russians doesn't even know that without allies they wouldn't win the World War II. They wouldn't win that great patriotic war Stalin get them into. By helping Hitler, supporting Hitler. If not for the help of allies, Russian soldiers would have walked to Berlin. Besides, there were huge war going on in Africa, which Western people know. They well educated, and even they don't well educated, they know that. Many Russians even with university degrees apparently doesn't know about it. When a whole bunch of German forces were tied up, it even started before Russia even did anything with Germany, like fighting Germany. Russia was helping Germany at the time. So Russians should educate themselves. Nevertheless, the point is of this video, so we not jump into conclusions. I don't think that Putin has some sort of a justification of anything. He started that war, and the war came to his home, which is, again, Kremlin isn't his home. Russians, and I pointed out it to them quite often, they don't even know where Putin lives. I am Canadian, I know where my Prime Minister lives. So Canadians know where our Prime Minister lives. And so is Americans. They know where the president is. So is Ukrainians. Russians don't. They don't even know where he sleeps every night. And who said that he would be in Kremlin in that kind of hour? He hardly probably ever there. He's sitting in his bunker, killing Russian people in this senseless, useless, and stupid war in Ukraine. The stupidity of this is what it came to. And now let's talk about some countries which Russia think are less civilized than them, who has problems in the past, but what they do. This man is Mark Rober, and he has nothing to do with the war in Ukraine or politics. He's an inventor, an engineer, and the creator of a glitter bomb, if you're interested, which is punishing the thieves who is stealing the packages from his porch, delivered to him by, let's say, Amazon. But nevertheless, this time he's talking about drones, and about how drones delivering his food, for instance, and so on, and different drones like this one or like that one. And he's talking about this company Zipline. But we just see it. The interesting part of it, that Zipline company is not from United States. It is from Rwanda, where they're doing deliveries of medical packages, for instance, who's saving people's lives. It very well works with the countries where there are lots of remote villages far apart, and it can help. It's a drone delivery service built in Rwanda, of all places, which any country could learn from it, and first of all Russia. This is what happened when people started to understand their past. They learned the history they had, terrible history. I'm talking about Rwanda genocide. And the man who created this company is a victim of it. That's why I'm bringing it up. And recently we saw how was charged the propagandist from the radio of Seven Hills, who hide for many years, hide from justice, and he got caught and he got charged. Between April and July 1994, as you know about that, members of the Tutsi minority ethnic group, as well as some moderate Hutu and Twa, were killed by armed Hutu militias. And the most widely accepted scholarly estimates are around 500,000 to 662 Tutsi deaths. That's what happened in that Rwanda genocide. I want you to show this video, but you could see it yourself. So basically, these drones are flying above Rwanda, and they delivering packages. Sometimes they even organs for people. And Mark Rober a little bit worked on it and even sent the package. So every 90 seconds, these drones are leaving their place and delivering packages. And the man who made it happen is this doctor, this little boy.
In fact, one kid came up specifically wanting to show Abdul what he built completely on his own. And
he now helping this kid. And that doctor himself started from, he has a scar on his head from machete. He survived, and not only survived, he learned how to do it and created that company and created help to his people. So anyways, I highly recommend this video. And instead of fighting in some other country and attacking other countries, intelligent and good people from Russia could have built way better future for themselves if they would have stopped, really stopped thinking about the world from the position of an empire, which Russia is not. Russia is the country who has, before the war in Ukraine, less than 2% of world economy. The country ruling by tyrants for years. The country which doesn't have stuff to offer the world to become naturally the world leader. And who said that it's a good idea to be a world leader? Canada isn't a world leader, and Canada lives better than the United States, in my opinion. United States, probably people might disagree, but they're welcome to. So this is the hope for the humanity. The country survived, Rwanda survived all the terrible things, yet they learn from their history, they move forward, and that's what they're creating now. That's what Russia should do. Get rid of Putin's regime, give him up to the hog, repay the debts, and get rid of corruption and oligarchs, and build a good life to themselves. And right now, it's the best time, since National Guards and Russian army fighting in Ukraine. Ukraine is helping Russia. The victory of Ukraine will bring Russians hope to get rid of that regime and maybe build themselves a good country. Unless Russians understand that, nothing gonna happen good to Russia. It's only gonna get worse, worse, and worse. But there is hope. Canada is hope for Russia. Canada is hope for Ukraine. And maybe Rwanda. I'm not Ukrainian. I'm Russian and Canadian. As the sign says, you don't need to be Ukrainian to support Ukraine. You just need to be a human. Please be humans. Please support Ukraine. We should learn from good things and not repeat the mistakes of the past. That's why people learn history. Please educate yourself and have a good day.